In this training series, I'm going to show you how you can get started making quality video content for your YouTube ads and your YouTube channel using Adobe Premiere Pro. Hi, my name is Nicholas Ayers. I'm the founder here at Major League Video Marketing, where I show business owners how to use YouTube ads and video marketing to grow their brand, grow their business, and grow their bottom line. Now, in this fifth video of our 8-part training series on how to use Adobe Premiere Pro to make your YouTube ads and your YouTube videos, I'm going to show you how to use transitions and effects. These transitions or effects will give your videos kind of that entertaining or engaging look as they move clip to clip with dissolves and transfers and kind of make it fun for the viewer. Now, like anything else, you can go overboard with this by giving your videos way too many effects and too many filters and all these different things that are going to make it more distracting than educating and enticing. So make sure you use these sparingly in your videos. And if you're here only for this specific tutorial and you're not really interested in getting the rest of our training series on Adobe Premiere Pro, then make sure you hit subscribe on the channel now, hit the little bell notification. And if you want to start from the beginning, you can always click down in the description and start at video number 1, where we talk about the navigation of Adobe Premiere. Video number 2, we talk about the shortcuts. Video number 3, we talk about splicing, trimming, and editing. Video number 4, we talk about audio. And in this video, we're going to talk about transitions and effects. Now, if I want to give my clips different effects, I'm going to do so from the effects panel right here. So as I'm selected effects, it's going to allow me to kind of come in here and I can go to video transitions and hit the little drop down, and you can see that I have different options. Ones that are very common are dissolve. So I'll just quickly zoom in here so you can kind of see how this looks by hitting the plus button. And let's say I want to do just a cross dissolve, which is our most common transition. Instead of it just cutting to the next, it's going to fade in and out. So if I go, and I'm just going to delete this top layer here so it's not too confusing. But you can kind of see it transitions here. And by hitting Control Z to even make it more clear so it's not going from clip to clip, I'm going to bring this bad boy here, drop it again. And I can kind of dissolve from one to the next. Now that's a very common one. If I want to shorten or make it longer, I simply come here and I just will click and hold and drag, so it's a much faster transition. So I'm going to hit spacebar, and you can kind of see it gives it more of a natural or better pace on the transition itself. Let's try it one more time. Now I'm going to delete that, and let's say I want to do a different one. A very common one to use is dip to white. So it kind of gives it that flash look. I'm going to just shorten it up here, and you'll see what this looks like. Most business owners, you know, it's another thing that keeps the eye moving and stimulates the viewer just a little bit to where it's a nice, subtle thing. Again, you don't want to overdo these because then it becomes more distracting. If I want to do white, I could do white, or I could do black, and essentially the same thing happens. Now, that's how it looks at normal pace. Let's say if I go like this, it's very long and drawn out, but you can do this on most anything. You can use YouTube ads to grow your business. Most business owners assume that. And my video is kind of trying to catch up here, but you get the idea. Now, you don't have to just do dissolves and dips to black to white. You can also do different ones that they give you. So if I go wipe, I can also see that I can use insert, which is a favorite of mine for various things. Most business, and it just gives it a different look. I want to speed that up just a little bit. Again, very simple. You can mess around with all of these and kind of give it the look that you want. These are all standard default transitions that you can put into your timeline. Let me just Control Z out of all of this so that I can get my clips back. Just Control Z, Control Z. Let's go back as much as we can. I think we're good. I'm going to go to the end of my timeline here, because you can also use dip to black as a way to kind of end your video. So video effects, or I'm sorry, video transitions, dip to black, and you'll notice here that because I only have it on one and I have multiple video tracks here, it's not going to do it right. Usually it won't do it right. So I need to put them on all of them, just the videos. And if I want to fade out the audio, I would do that too. Let me cut the song off here. Select this, delete, and I'm going to go to audio transitions. Now, audio transitions aren't as robust, you just have fades. So I'm going to do constant power. You can do constant power or exponential fade, but this is going to fade the music down. Now, I like to kind of bring the music out just a little bit more, and I'm going to extend this to where it's going to dip to black and the music is going to fade. Quality content. And it's going to stop there. But that fades things out, does that. Now, one thing you'll notice, you'll see happening a lot in your dialogue is to kind of give it kind of a cleaner transition. You don't have to do this unless you need to, but sometimes I'll give myself little transitions from clip to clip. Let me zoom in here. And I just make these more subtle than just very abrupt cuts. This video, it will help just the transitions. Again, it's not required, and you'll find that most times you won't notice a difference. But if you have one clip that comes in louder than the other, you might want to fade that in so that it's not so abrupt on the listener. But that's how you use different transitions. Now if we want to use different effects, I just click on the effects panel, and I could do different effects. Let's say I want to blur something out. So I want to blur out this light specifically. And you'll find that you'll do this if you're doing private, client information or whatever the case might be. So I'm going to go to blur, and I usually do Gaussian blur. I'm going to click and drag, and you can see it'll show up in my effects panel. If I do that, you can see it adjusts that correctly. Now, I just want to blur out one thing here. So I'm just going to make a mask by clicking on either the box or the circle. It doesn't really matter. You can also draw your own custom line. And I'm going to see if it puts it there somewhere. Yep, it's right there. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to just click and drag it over here. Let's say I want to give it a little bit more of a feathered outline, so it's a little bit more blurred into that. I'm just going to, you can see that's almost, you can't even tell that there's a circle there. And that allows me to blur this out. Now I can blur the entire video, or with this mask here, I could just blur out specific spots. I'm going to just click and drag it over here. You could spend hours in the effect panels doing all kinds of filters and transitions and all kinds of crazy effects on your video clips. I encourage you to use them sparingly so that they don't become too distracting. But if you click over to this next video right now, you're going to go to the 6th video of our 8-part training series on how to use Adobe Premiere to make your YouTube ads and your YouTube videos. In that 6th video, I'm going to show you how to use titles in Adobe Premiere. These are great for video names or text overlays or callouts or anything where you would want to introduce text in your video. So make sure you click on this video right now. Go to that 6th video in our 8-part training series. We look forward to seeing you there on that next video. Talk to you soon.